think that the topic of data preservation is quite complex, and it's very difficult to define best practice which covers all the aspects of the data preservation issue. Specifically, there are different types of data which need different treatment, and some may not even be worth archiving. So I think it's important to start with making a classification of your data. What is important for archiving, what needs to be archived in which way, so that it is available in the future for research and really easy to access it.
The same is true for the metadata, so the documentation of the data. They need to be in a text format and preferably according to an open standard.
There's an additional challenge with ecological data in that not all of the data are numerical. Some of it are water, and we save water. We save samples of the organisms that live in the lakes. And these also take care and need to be preserved for the long term.
Really difficult to predict on how you can read whatever digital data you have that is older than 5 years, or even maybe if you think in 10-15 years time scales, how you can preserve data, digital data, in a way that it will be still readable, even with open formats, even with good descriptions.
Data quality is a challenge, so especially in our field where a lot of data are still collected manually. And if you keep thinking on to natural history collections, if you digitize those data, every single specimen has been collected by hand, has been annotated by hand, has been dealt with by hand, then the taxonomy changes. So there's a huge issue of data quality that has to be addressed, and has to be addressed at many different levels. My answer is very short here. As long as society decides to pay for the archiving, because it is a continuous work process, it is a continuous development process, it continues to need to be paid for. And as long as society deems these data valuable enough to store, I think they should be stored.
I don't know how long the long-term ecological research project will continue. But I think that it has a good chance of continuing for some time, because each time we extend the period of record, we keep discovering new things.
Our data could get obsolete at some point. There can be times where data just gets superseded by better data, which can be used and should be then archived at that point in time.
Well, this clearly is a problem for us, because instrumentation changes, techniques change, and so some data are not comparable. But the better our metadata are and our instruments are, the more likely the generations after us will be able to use those data and cross-compare them. Yeah. I think the strategies on the preserving long-term data really have to do with maintaining an interest in the data, maintaining active use of the data. And so having an active group of researchers and continuing to bring new researchers in that are interested in those things, so that the data don't become obsolete in the intellectual community, is perhaps the most important thing.
So for us, the important strategy is really to document as good as we can the data, to really try to define a final data set which is available for the real data mining process, and takes away some of the problems of calibration and data preparation, which we do and which may not be possible in years to come.
Biggest change that we have done is within the LTR network, we have developed an metadata standard, so that all LTR sites, of which there are 26 in the country,
are using the exact same format for their metadata.